What if I told you that a simple $10 bill in your pocket today could grow into $1,000 or more without you breaking a sweat? Sounds too good to be true, right? But it's not. It's all thanks to something called compounding. In fact, Albert Einstein once called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. He said, those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. So, which side do you want to be on? Now, before you think I'm about to sell you some get-rich-quick scheme, let me stop you right there. This isn't about luck, gambling, or some fancy stock-picking trick. Compounding is a tried-and-true financial principle, and it's available to anyone. Yes, even you. Today, I'll show you exactly how a modest $10 can grow into $1,000 over time. And more importantly, how you can start harnessing this power right now. Alright, so let's talk about compounding. This magical concept that can completely transform how you think about money. At its core, compounding is the process of earning returns on your returns. It's like planting a tiny seed and watching it grow into a massive tree that keeps giving you more and more fruit every year. Sounds amazing, right? Here's why it matters. Most people think they need to start with a huge amount of money to make investing worthwhile. But that's a myth. Compounding shows us that even small, consistent investments can lead to massive growth over time, if you give it enough time and let it do its thing. It's all about patience and strategy. So why don't more people take advantage of compounding? Well, some folks just don't understand how powerful it really is. Others might be intimidated by investing because it feels complicated or risky. And then there are those who think they don't have enough money to start, so they never even try. Here's the good news. You don't need to be a financial expert or have a fat wallet to make compounding work for you. Today, I'll break it all down in simple terms, using a real-life example of how $10, just 10 bucks, can grow into $1,000. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how to unlock the power of compounding and start building your financial future. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like saving or investing is just impossible? Like no matter how hard you try, it feels like you need a mountain of money to get anywhere? I get it. We've all been there. You look at your bank account, see a couple of zeros, and think, what difference could $10 or $20 possibly make? That kind of thinking keeps so many people stuck, living paycheck to paycheck. Here's the problem. We've been conditioned to believe that wealth is only for the rich, that you need thousands of dollars to even start investing. And because of that, most people never take the first step. They think, why bother? I'll never have enough to make a difference. But what if I told you that mindset is exactly what's holding you back? The truth is, the biggest challenge isn't the amount of money you start with. It's starting at all. Because here's the thing. Compounding thrives on time. The earlier you start, even with small amounts, the bigger the snowball effect becomes. But the longer you wait, the harder it gets to catch up. So the real challenge is breaking free from the belief that small steps don't matter. I'm here to tell you they do. Imagine if, instead of waiting to save $1,000 before you invested, you started with just $10. You'd be surprised how far that small start could take you. And guess what? I'm going to show you exactly how that works. All right, let's get into the good stuff. How compounding actually works and why it's your secret weapon for building wealth. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw complicated math at you. We'll keep it simple, relatable, and, dare I say, fun. Let's start with the basics. Compounding is when your money starts earning money, and then that money earns even more money. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and slow, but as it picks up speed, it grows bigger and bigger until it becomes unstoppable. Here's a quick example to paint the picture. Imagine you have $10 and you invest it somewhere that gives you a 10% annual return. In the first year, that $10 grows by 10%, so now you've got $11. Not too exciting yet, right? But here's where the magic happens. In year 2, you're not just earning 10% on your original $10, you're earning it on the $11. So now, instead of making just $1, you make $1.10. That doesn't sound like much, but stick with me. By year 3, you're earning on $12.10, and the cycle keeps repeating. Fast forward 20 years, and guess what? That $10 has turned into over $67. That's without adding another dime. Now imagine if you invested $10 every month or even every week. The growth becomes exponential. But here's the thing about compounding. It's not just about the numbers, it's about time. Time is the secret ingredient that takes compounding from good to extraordinary. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. If you wait 10 years to start, you're cutting your potential returns in half, if not more. Let me share a real-world scenario to drive this home. Let's say two friends, Sarah and James, decide to start investing. Sarah starts early at 25 and puts away $100 a month for 10 years, then stops. James waits until he's 35 to start, but he invests $100 a month for 30 years. Guess who ends up with more money at retirement? It's Sarah. Even though she stopped contributing after 10 years, the power of compounding gave her a massive head start that James just couldn't catch up to. Now, you might be thinking, this is great, but I don't have $100 a month to spare. And that's okay. The beauty of compounding is that it works no matter how small you start. Even $10 can make a difference, as long as you're consistent. It's not about how much you invest. It's about getting started and letting time do the heavy lifting. But there's another factor that can supercharge your compounding journey: interest rates. Higher rates mean faster growth. That's why it's so important to find investments that offer good returns, like index funds, ETFs, or even certain types of savings accounts. The key is to avoid letting your money sit idle in a regular bank account, earning close to nothing. You want your money working hard for you, not taking a nap. So, what's the takeaway here? Compounding isn't magic, it's math. But when you combine that math with consistency, patience, and smart investing, it feels like magic. And the best part? You don't have to be rich to take advantage of it. You just need to start. Whether it's $10, $50, or $500, the sooner you begin, the sooner you'll see the snowball effect in action. All right, now let's get to the part you've been waiting for: how $10 can grow into $1,000. This is where all the pieces come together, and you see the real power of compounding in action. Imagine this: you take $10 and invest it in an index fund that offers an average annual return of 10%. Pretty standard for the stock market over the long term. Now, let's say you don't add another dime. You just let that $10 sit and grow. After 25 years, your $10 would have grown to a little over $108. Again, not jaw-dropping, but here's where the magic happens. What if you consistently added $10 every month to that same investment? With those monthly contributions and the same 10% return, your investment would grow to over $10,000 in 25 years. Yep, you heard that right. From $10 a month, less than the cost of 2 coffees, you could build a 5-figure portfolio. And if you scale that up to $50 or $100 a month, well, now you're looking at a 6-figure nest egg. But here's another way to think about it. Let's shrink the timeline and focus on smaller milestones. If you invest $10 monthly and leave it to compound, it could take about 7 years to turn that into $1,000. That's just by being consistent, giving your money time, and letting compounding do the heavy lifting. It's not about hitting a jackpot overnight. It's about building steady, predictable growth. This is the magic of compounding. It's not flashy. It's not exciting at first. But over time, it quietly and consistently builds wealth. And the best part? You can start with just $10. That's less than the cost of a movie ticket, a takeout meal, or even a fancy latte. The question is, are you willing to make that small sacrifice for a much bigger reward? So what's the big takeaway here? It's simple. Compounding is your financial superpower. It's the tool that can turn small, consistent investments into life-changing wealth over time. You don't need a huge paycheck or fancy degrees to take advantage of it. All you need is a little patience, a bit of consistency, and the willingness to start, even if it's just $10 a month. Here's what we covered today. Compounding works by earning returns on your returns, creating a snowball effect that gets bigger and faster as time goes on. The earlier you start, the more powerful it becomes. Waiting, on the other hand, makes it harder to catch up. And remember, you don't need to be rich to start. Small steps taken consistently can lead to huge results. Think about this. $10 today might not seem like much, but when you let compounding work its magic, it has the potential to become $1,000, $10,000, or even $100,000 over time. That's the beauty of this process. It rewards those who are willing to plant the seed and let it grow. So the next time you're tempted to spend that $10 on something you don't really need, think about the future. What could that small amount become if you invested it instead? The choice is yours. Now that you've seen the power of compounding, it's your turn to take action. Have you started investing yet? If so, let me know in the comments. What's your strategy and how has it worked for you so far? And if you haven't started, what's holding you back? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Ready to take the first step toward building your financial future? Check out my video, How to Start Saving for Your First $1,000. It's packed with simple, actionable tips to help you get started right away. Click on it now, and I'll see you there.